Hi, chat. Sorry I'm late. Welcome to the basement, though. Hope you guys had a good back half to your week since we last saw each other watching episode 4 of Invincible this past Wednesday. And I hope you guys are ready for what I believe will be a fun and informative ish stream. Got some fun stuff to talk about, chat. Got some fun stuff to talk about. And it's not just about Jean Grey. There's a couple other things floating around here and there that we can dig into, seek our teeth into, chit chat about, yap, commiserate, whatever. Pick your verb. So, you might think you're ready, but you're not quite ready. Unless you have done the following. And that is, if you have filled your cup and you have lit your smoke, you're ready. And if you haven't, you're not. So get ready, because it's time to get nerdy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the basement. How are we all doing on this Saturday evening? I almost said lovely, but it's still chilly where I live. So what's happening, guys? Anything fun? Do you have a good back half to your week? Was work okay? Life okay? It's crack-a-lack. We got Sanoff back. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Spicy Dan. Where's Brooke? Brooke! Brooke! We've got a couple of little doodads to talk about. Obviously, the big deal is we have as much confirmation as we're going to get outside of the trades or the studio. Oh, my camera decided to freeze. What the fuck? Hold up. We gonna work? Okay. Are we gonna stay working? Okay, we're gonna have to do this fucking game again. All right, I gotta do the unplug and plug back in thing. Hold on. You know what? I got a better idea. Give me 2 seconds here. Okay, here. Watch this while I fix my camera. At least that's what I say I'm going to be doing. All right, chat. As much as I would love to leave this on here, should I just leave this up and just yap about everything without any kind of visual aids and just leave this playing? What do you think? All right, we're going to try this shit real quick. Maybe I'll just leave it playing for myself. Oh. Okay, there we go. Cool. I mean, sweet Jesus. Okay. All right, a little bit more for all. Good. Okay. Anyway, enough gooning. My camera's fixed, so enough gooning. Spicy Dan, your greenhouse was destroyed by high winds? No! That sucks, bro. Like how bad was the damage to the crop? What's up, Brennan? Yeah, hot damn's right, isn't it? Who that is Sydney Sweeney, bro. She's kind of, if you think about it, a little. I can't say a lot because I don't know like that much of her history, but she's kind of this generation's Marilyn Monroe. Decent actress, massive sex symbol. She hasn't sung any president's happy birthday though, so Norma Jean Baker still has that. That's Marilyn Monroe's actual name, by the way, in case you didn't know. YouTube, I know there's more than one person watching. Oh, you hadn't moved the peppers out to it yet? Oh. Well, that's good. Whew, but still, like, how big of a chore is it going to be to get your greenhouse back up in, I guess, in one piece or in working order, however you want to put it? Like, how bad is it, bro? And also, that blows dog. Brennan, none taken, bro. None taken at all. I mean, I totally understand. Did not see video long enough. Should have bookmarked that shit is what I should have did. Alright, let's see if I can find it. It'll be like emergency wallpaper for technical difficulties. Right? Oh, sweet. I went right to the top of my search because bookmark. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that around for emergencies. Ooh, Brennan with the 80. Nice. Oh, must not have been 5 minutes yet for me. How are you guys doing on gambling anyway? Yeah, we're fucking around before we get into stuff. It's the way it always goes. If you're new here, we just chit-chat and yap for a hot minute. Does that command work over here? Yes, it does. Oh, Brennan just moved into the lead. Look at you. The hell? I'm sixth? This is my fucking channel. Fuck you, Streamlabs. Suck a fat dick. Anyway. Ugh. Ugh. Got a couple different things to talk about tonight, chat. I was shocked when I ran through like my stuff and realized there actually wasn't a shit ton of news. So probably no 4-hour stream tonight. I know. Disappointing. But I can't control what's out there. Frame collapse, so you have to move forward without the greenhouse and just use the plot. Damn. That blows. That blows, man. Sorry to hear that, dude. Hope that doesn't put too big of a crimp in the operation. Hope that doesn't do too much damage to the supply chain, as it were. Because that would suck ace. Okay, that's a little rando thing. Probably start there. That shit. I could have found the one with who he's writing it with, though. Ah! Okay. That one. Mark that on my own. All right. Bum ba bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. Let it we'll start there. Okay. Okay, chat. You guys got anything you want to share about the back half of your week for us to chit chat about for a minute? Or shall we get into this shizzle? What say you, chat? You let me know. I'll be right back. Oopsie. Wow, I completely mishandled that situation. Hold up. Okay, there we go. I need a longer mic cord. Anyway. Ugh. All right, chat. Time before we get into this here. Be nice to me, StreamYards, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. Let us start, chat, with a little bit of text. 5? A whole Streamlabs. Look at my camera that's feeding through your program right now. This is what I think of you. Anyway, so we're going to start with a little news on the tech side, but that's because stuff on the tech side ends up affecting our nerdy content. So thus we must keep track. So a few days ago, OpenAI. Y'all heard of OpenAI? Familiar with OpenAI? Anyway, OpenAI announced that they were discontinuing their Sora image generation application. And the reaction on Twitter. Now, mind you, my tech Twitter bubble is really fucking small. A lot of people in my bubble are either super nerdy or like very, kind of cinephile-y kind of people, Anyway, to boil it down, most of the people I follow, at least for entertainment news, not necessarily nerdy news, but entertainment overall news. What the fuck is this? Why is that even up? Get out of my face. Anyway. Bottle of wine. It was white tonight. Ooh, yeah. It's my kind of shit right there. Love me a good sweet white. Anyway. Yeah. So a lot of reactions. Like one of the first headlines I saw was OpenAI shuts down its AI slop app Sora or some shit like that. And I'm like, okay, I can see how this is gonna fucking go. Yeah, so there's a lot of, basically, in my own personal Twitter bubble, there's a lot of celebration about the demise of Sora, which will probably lead to the demise of OpenAI at some point, unless they have something in their back pocket that they can drop out and be like, ah, we're back again. But don't know if that's going to be the case. So yeah, there's a lot of celebration out there. And then shortly after that, a story came across the TwitX feed that Disney was like, oh, yeah, so you remember that $1 billion we were going to give you so we could use Sora to, for our users to use to post short form stuff on Disney Plus? Well, no Sora, no billion for you. No billion for you. No Sora, no monies. So Disney's backing out of that fucking deal. And from the same people that were rejoicing the demise of Sora, they were also rejoicing Disney's retraction of the money to OpenAI. Now, as I was seeing this develop, well, first of all, my first reaction to the initial, my initial reaction to the initial reactions was everyone. I thought it was hilarious. All the celebrating I saw on Twitter, I found extremely funny because it's like, okay, fine, Sora's gone, but there's still Gemini. There's still Sea Dance out of China. There's still plenty of generative AI programs out there. It's like, oh, there goes one. Whoop-de fucking do. Like, this is, if you're anti-AI or what have you, this is a nothing burger. So Sora's gone. Okay, cool. Plenty of other fish in the AI sea for people to use. First of all. Second, my second thought, and this happened after the Disney announcing that the story about Disney dipping out on OpenAI was, okay, and then again, the celebration. And I'm sitting there again laughing because I'm like, so Disney's backing out of this deal. It's not like they're not going to go find another AI company to play with and drop a whole shit ton of money on. They'll just find one with shit that works right now. Right? That was my first thought. And lo and behold, chat, Disney puts out this statement, thus proving my fucking point. A Disney spokesperson provided Variety a statement on the ending of their relationship with OpenAI after the shutdown of Sora. Ready, chat? As the nascent AI field advances rapidly, we respect OpenAI's decision to exit the video generation business and to shift its priorities elsewhere. We appreciate the constructive collaboration between our teams and what we learned from it, and we will continue to engage with AI platforms to find new ways to meet fans where they are while responsibly embracing new technologies that respect IP and the rights of creators. Let me read that key phrase again. What up, Nate? We will continue to engage with AI platforms. No shit. I mean, called it. Like anyone who has even the remotest idea of how Hollywood works and how business works knew that Disney backing out of this deal and Sora going the way of the dodo are nothing burgers. It doesn't change a fucking thing that's happening out there in the world of entertainment and technology. It doesn't change anything. So there's one less little platform. Ooh. Ooh. Who gives a fuck that there's only one less little platform? Fine. Anti-AI people, enjoy your little moral victory, because that's all it is. It's not a victory, in fact. This doesn't signal the demise of generative AI or its future use in, a lot of shit. Right? It nothing is stopping. Nothing is changing. There's just one less player in the game. That's it. That is all that means. And like Disney themselves said, they're just gonna go look for fucking somebody else to play with. Disney's overall plans to utilize AI are not changing. The only thing that's changing is the platform that will allow them to implement those plans. That's the only thing changing. They're just putting down one tool and just go pick up another one. And said, "Oh shit, this hammer's broken. Oh, here's another." That's literally it. Generative AI going nowhere. Disney's desire to work with AI companies going nowhere. So, if you're part of the anti-AI crowd, I mean, you can celebrate this if you want, but I got bad news for you. It don't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. Not shit. Nothing. Not a zip. Zilch. Zero. No impact on the future of AI whatsoever. I mean, that's just the way it is, yo. That is just the way it is, guys. You guys got any thoughts on this? Are you in woohoo mode because Sora went away and because Disney backed out of their deal with OpenAI? Do you even give a fuck? Do you care one way or the other? Nate, I just want an AI VR MCU game like open world universe. Play any characters, life, or be you and help the Avengers against the forces of evil or fight against them. Yeah. And I like Josh, think stuff like that is on the way. Like, I mean, all the stuff that people are being able to build for themselves in Fortnite. I just saw that there's some people playing in Fortnite building a Knights of the Old Republic little section for themselves to play in. I just saw that the other day. Like it or not, and trust me, Hollywood doesn't like it. Cinephiles don't like it. But self-curated entertainment is the thing of the future. It ain't going to happen tomorrow. It might not even happen in the 2030s. But it's going to happen. There are going to be companies that realize that the public wants to be able to set up their own entertainment that they know in advance they're going to like. Like they not 98? Man. I mean, well done, but also, fuck you, Streamlabs, for what you do to me. But thank you for being nice to Nate. Yeah. Self-curated content, be it video games, movies, shows, whatever. Like, if you give people the option to build exactly what they want to watch, they're going to take it. For example, we'll stick with Disney. Say someone hops on the Disney Plus app, right? And they have generative AI fully integrated with the Disney Plus app. It would not surprise me in the slightest for at some point in time for you to be able to hop on Disney Plus, go to, say, I don't know, the Marvel or the Star Wars section, and hop into some menu and pick some characters, give us some story prompts, hit go, and then just sit back and watch what you just created that you are pretty sure you're going to fucking like. You could even put yourself in that shit. Or like Nate said, AI-based VR, where you put on your VR helmet, link up with some friends online, and you can all be the Avengers together in a movie. Or the X-Men. Or you can put yourself in the place of Han, Luke, and Leia in the OT. I mean, the self-curated entertainment is where things are going. Now, the AI bubble is going to burst a bit. Like, that's going to happen. This is the first sign of it. But it doesn't mean AI is going away. It doesn't even mean progress is going to slow down significantly. Right? It will a little. Any bump in the road slows progress. I mean, that's just facts. But like the future is still rolling towards us, right? Or we're still rolling towards it, would be more accurate. But yeah, like the better AI gets, and the more companies are going to figure out that yes, their own original content will still be desired to a certain extent, but once people realize what they can do, if they're not going to completely create it themselves or find, well, let me roll that back a bit. A lot of people still probably won't bother creating it themselves. What they will do is find other people that are really good at creating it and A, watch their shit, or B, companies will smarten up and start offering fans options for self-curated entertainment. Now, they might not allow a fan to come in and just do everything from scratch. They might be like, here, insert yourself into this story. Maybe, at least at the beginning, until the technology continues to improve. And then fans will be able to just be like, hey, I want to be Tony Stark today. And I want to do my own Tony Stark Iron Man story. And you'll be able to. So, Sora going away and probably OpenAI being in severe trouble and possibly going away. Okay. So, Sora gone, OpenAI might end up gone, but does it really make a difference when it comes to the future of AI and the future of how AI will affect entertainment? Nope. It's barely a pimple on the ass of AI. This going bye-bye. Yep. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this subject? Specifically, Sora, OpenAI, Disney backing out. Just my general thoughts on how things are going to go. And, do you agree? Is this basically a nothing burger when you consider everything else that's out there? Excuse me. What say you, chat? How do you feel about that, chat? Do you even care? How about that? Let's start there. Do you even give a fuck? And if you do give a fuck, how do you feel about it? Hey, your fucks have been spent. You have no fucks to give. I mean, I feel that, Spicy Dan. Especially after a day of cleaning up the remains of your greenhouse. Whatever day that happened to be. Did we talk more about Jean Grey yet? Nope. Saving that for later. When more people show up. Which for whatever reason tends to be at like 11:30 to 12:30. It's funny, they used to show up like I used to start this stream at 9 just like I do on Wednesdays. Then I was checking my numbers and I noticed people weren't showing up till about 10:30, 11. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll push it back an hour. Well, guess what happened? Motherfuckers are still not showing up for like an hour and a half after I start. So now it's I don't know what the deal is. I started later because more people showed up a little later so I can have them in here sooner and have my count up for longer to impress YouTube, and it just shifted again. What are you going to do? Yeah, no, I'm saving that for later, Mr. Conley. Any further thoughts about the OpenAI Sora AI in general future of self-curated entertainment thing? How does my Dr. Doom shirt fit? Comfortably. Yeah, never really that big of. I don't know. It fits comfortably. Yours has huge armholes. Maybe you just have little bitch ass arms. I know you don't because I've seen a little bit of your video. No, I appreciate the creators of this shirt making it run a little bit big because I'm a tubby bitch. First of all, so but yeah, it fits pretty comfortably. It is a bit big though. I will say. Like I was up on my tiptoes, still couldn't get to the bottom of it. But yeah, it's comfy. It doesn't squeeze my man boobs or nothing. It fits good. I think it looks really good. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, chat. You ready to move on to the next thing? All right, move on to the next thing. So, chat. This was this next story gave me a massive what the fuck moment, like massive, and you'll see why. A sequel movie to the Lord of the Rings trilogy is officially in the works. First of all, why? We don't need a sequel to Return of the King in any way, shape, or form. We're good there. Did is anyone like any of you guys? What up, C Dub? Well, you don't have to apologize, bro. I mean, I was fucking 5 minutes late. I got caught up making sure I didn't miss anything that I wanted to put on my rundown. And then my ADD kicked in and I hyper focused on just scrolling. And then next thing I knew it was 10:05 and I'm like, fuck. So I was tardy. And you guys, the fact that like you showed up at all is this, that's all I'm good there. Like if you're like, hell, if you come rolling in the middle of the outro, I don't care. You showed the fuck up. I'm happy with that. So no need to apologize, Mr. Dub. And Jean Grey, kind of a weird choice to have in Spider-Man, but I'm trusting the process. Maybe the Void activated mutant genes. Maybe. It's entirely possible. The Void does interesting things. But actually, why she may be in Spider-Man, I saw an article about that. We are actually going to talk about that shit. So keep that in the back of your mind, Santa. Well, first of all, thank you for bringing it up. We're going to put a pin in that. We'll get back to it. So keep it in the back of your mind. But we will be talking about that specific subject. Why it makes sense for Jean Grey to be in this movie. Okay? We'll get there. I promise. I promise. I have the article bookmarked and everything. So we'll get there. Excuse me. But for now, back to the Lord of the Rings. So are there any Tolkien heads out there right now that can confirm or deny the fact that they have nothing to work off of? This is going to be totally original story. Like there's no Tolkien stuff that they're referencing. Is there or is there? Does anyone know that, first of all? Or do I have to Google it? I want to rely on you first, chat. I love you guys. And I mostly trust you guys. Sometimes you troll me, but that's okay. If you're a streamer and you can't handle being trolled, you probably shouldn't be a streamer. And if you're in a streamer's chat and the streamer decides to clap back and verbally bitch slap the fuck out of you, you better be able to, handle that too. Don't dish it out if you can't take it. That's pretty much that's how that goes. Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Oh, by the way, evidently my time to shine got sick of my trolling because I'm blocked now. That's fine because a lot of the people I show will either retweet her or follow will either retweet her shit or directly reference her, so I know what the fuck she's gonna say anyway. And if I really want to, I can just go to her fucking page and screenshot what I want for reference. So all she really did was prevent me from endlessly mocking her for being a dumbass. Lord of the Rings TV show of the books to do what they couldn't in movie format is the only thing that makes sense. Oh, you're talking about expanding on the movies to include, like, for example, Tom Bombadil and shit like that. Basically what they're doing with Harry Potter. Because that's basically what they're doing with Harry Potter. They're devoting an entire season to each book so they can get into a lot of the nitty gritty that the movies had to cut out, so they weren't fucking 5-hour movies. You know? Yeah, if they do it well, I'd be down. If it's another Rings of Power, they can suck my balls. But yeah. So, there's no Tolkien referencing reference material for them to be working off for this, though, right? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm just not sure about that. I don't think so, but I don't know for sure. But either way, well, especially if not, just in general, this really doesn't need to be a thing. But there's more. We have a plot synopsis. 14 years after the passing of Frodo. So this movie starts after Frodo been dead 14 years. Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure. So to honor Frodo, those three are going to go on a literal trip down memory lane. Gotta go? All right, man. Have a good night, bro. Thanks for popping in. I appreciate you. So they're going to go on a literal walk down memory lane. But meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long-buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. What do you guys think of that synopsis, chat? We got Frodo dead for 14 years. And for whatever reason, at the 14-year mark, Sam, Merry, and Pippin decide to go hiking on the first steps of their adventure. Okay. And then Sam's daughter, Eleanor, somehow runs across a long-buried secret that evidently could have resulted in Sauron winning. Yeah, I don't know what they're fucking thinking here. I mean, you guys know I don't buy into this shit like automatically. There are well-written characters and there are poorly written characters. So if they write this character well, cool. But I can already hear the screams of girl boss. I can already hear the screams of woke because it's going to be Sam's daughter who's going to discover the secret and go investigate it while Sam, Merry, and Pippin are just out literally walking down memory lane. And I imagine they'll probably end up teaming up at some point. She'll be like, Dad, I need help. Look what I found. But maybe not. But we'll see. But again, there is no inherent problem with Sam's daughter being the one to go on the big adventure. Despite the views of certain people out there that are automatically going to go there. And they're wrong to do so because that character, Eleanor, has just as much of a chance as being Ripley from Alien as she does of being Rey. Gotta wait and see on that shit. Now, if they fuck around and write her like crap, then, they will have earned some disparagement. Not certain kinds of disparagement, but they do need to be called out for shitty writing, 100%, and I will do so. I have no problem calling out shitty writing. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking with this shit. Especially the hike down memory lane by Sam, Merry, and Pippin. Like, why? First of all, why? Second, who the fuck cares? And a long buried secret that could be why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. What? I mean, I freely admit, chat, and I've admitted this plenty of times before, I am not a creative person. I am a very much straight line, A to B thinker. You have to be a lateral thinker to be creative. That's not this guy. So when I say I can't think of a way for that to be for it to even make sense, that okay, fine. I'm probably not going to. There's a reason why I don't theorize much is because theorizing you have to be able to go here and kind of pull a bunch of disparate shit together. And me, I'm just like so all the shit over here and all the over here and over here and over here. I don't see that shit. Metaphorically speaking, I don't. I miss it all, which is why I rely on more creative people to come up with theories, and then I think about them and decide if I agree or not. But yeah, original theories. Not too often you're going to get them from this guy. So a more creative person could make sense of that and find a way for that to be cool. I can't. I think that's just. I don't even know how I want to describe that, but unimpressive and uninspiring come to mind. That's not even the kicker, chat. That's not even the kicker. The kicker is in the last line of this tweet. Stephen Colbert is co-writing the script. What? Stephen Colbert, the comedian of Daily Show, Colbert Report, and his late night talk show fame. I can't remember which one he's on. Might even be just called Stephen Colbert Show. But yeah. Comedian Stephen Colbert is co-writing a Lord of the Rings script. Now, when I first read this, I was not aware that Stephen Colbert is a super duper dripping wet sweaty Lord of the Rings nerd. I did not know this. When I heard that, I was like, okay, cool. That's good. At least we know there's a pretty good chance that he will, the property will be respected. Despite the fact that he's a comedian. He's at least a super sweaty. So, it's not like he's going to come up with a bunch of goofy ass shit that has, very little, if anything, to do with Lord of the Rings. Basically, I don't see him doing to Lord of the Rings what Gilroy did to Star Wars. I don't see that. He's a super sweaty nerd. Cool. That's cool. I appreciate that. But again, this is a dude who spent most of his career being funny. Obviously, there are plenty of people who can be funny and dramatic. Robin Williams comes to mind immediately. There are others. So it's not impossible that he could come up with a dramatic Lord of the Rings script. Not impossible. But still, like, what the fuck? And this particular tweet doesn't give his co-writers. I found that in a later tweet, and I never bookmarked it. But he has two co-writers. One of them is his son. And the other is Philippa Boyens. Now, Philippa Boyens is a Lord of the Rings veteran insofar as she was a co-writer on the original trilogy, on the Jackson trilogy that we all love. She was a co-writer on the 3 Hobbit movies that we all like. So she's got a pretty large Lord of the Rings pedigree. Like, works closely with Peter Jackson. I think Jackson is a producer, will be a producer on this project as well. So there are pieces in place to keep it from going off the rails. The H9 Network, welcome. It's not Jean Grey, it's Firestar. Okay. Except it is Jean Grey. Yeah, it's Jean Grey. It'd be dope if she was Firestar, but there are reasons it's Jean Grey. But yeah, so that's cool. They have a veteran working with Colbert and his son on this script. Cool. But we're still talking about a rookie screenwriter jumping on a project for one of the largest, most beloved IP in the world. I kind of almost don't care how much help he's getting. Putting a rookie on a movie in an IP so large and so loved is not a good idea. It's not. This harkens back to Kathleen Kennedy hiring Charmin Obaid-Chinoy to do what up, Jay? To do the Ray movie. Charmin Obaid-Chinoy had not made a feature film. She's a documentarian. You don't put a rookie on a massive IP project as their first fucking foray into whatever field they're doing. In the case of Ms. Obaid-Chinoy, you don't put a rookie director on a fucking Star Wars movie. Got to work your way up to that shit. In this case, we're talking about writing. You don't put a rookie screenwriter on an IP as big and well loved as fucking Lord of the Rings. I mean, you may as well take a high school quarterback and be like, okay, here, quarterback my NFL team. See how well that shit goes. But the Lord of the Rings thing, at this point, yeah, it's officially in the works. Now, whether it stays in the works, that's another deal. Because, as we all know, plenty of projects begin to be developed and then never make it out of development hell. For whatever reason. That happens a lot. So that could very well happen to this movie. But as of right now, it's in the works. By the way, VH9 Network, please hit like and subscribe and the bell. By the way, did everyone hit like? Did y'all hit like? Oh, and God, I'm a slacker. Replay crew, we're almost an hour in. I'm so sorry. Thank you for clicking. And you guys hit all appropriate buttons too. If you ain't new, make sure everyone hits the like. And if you're new, subscribe and the bell, please. And I have a Discord as well, which I would love for you to join too. If for no other reason than the notifications on Discord are a lot more reliable than the ones on YouTube. So, what we have here, chat, is we have a sequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy with a very unimpressive plot synopsis. And the script is being co-written by 2 rookies and 1 Lord of the Rings veteran. Now again, Colbert, big sweaty Tolkien nerd. Good. Hopefully he's the kind of guy that won't allow too much Hollywood fuckery. But with Peter Jackson as producer, I'm not really worried about that. My main concern is rookies on shit that is way too big for them. Again, you're not gonna take a high school quarterback and then be like, okay, here, be the quarterback for my NFL team. That's basically what this is. That's what this is. That's what Obaid-Chinoy with the Ray movie was. You're asking a high schooler to run a pro team. And are there exceptions where that works out? Yes. Off the top of my head, LeBron James. Straight out of high school into the NBA, dominant for 20 plus years. Still not the GOAT. That's still Michael Jordan. But he's a good exception. He's a good example of an exception to the rule. but that's the exception to the rule. So I'm skeptical. I'm concerned. I don't think this is a good idea. I could be wrong. And in this situation, unlike 99.9% of situations, I would be very happy to be wrong. I would be super happy if Colbert, his kid, and that other person who has written on all 6 of the Lord of the Rings movies to this point, put together a banger. That nothing would make me happier than for me to be wrong and them to do that shit. But on paper, which is all we have right now, no, thank you. I'm good. Don't need it. Don't want it. Please don't. But we'll see. It could turn out awesome, or my fears could be fully justified. We won't know. Probably till we're writing it now, film next year, late 2028, or sometime in 2029, depending on, how badly they want to get this going. I mean, there is still the Hunt for Gollum movie. Now that's not a sequel. That's like inside the timeline, right? Yeah, that's inside the already established timeline. I'm not sure. Do any of you know exactly where in the timeline that the Hunt for Gollum is going to fall? Because I am a little confused on it. Is it between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings trilogy? Is it between those? Is it during, like, maybe Fellowship of the Ring? Like, when the fuck does that take place in the timeline? Do any of you guys know? I have no idea. But if you know, I'd love for you to share that info. I really, really would. But yeah, I have concerns, chat, about this project. I have not insignificant concerns. But again, to be fair, there are aspects of this project that, do allay my fears a little bit. Jackson being on it as a producer. That Philippa, whatever the fuck her name was, being a co-writer on it, who also was a co-writer for both trilogies. It's before The Hobbit. Oh, okay. I feel like they cast Elijah Wood in it, though. That's the... Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, no. Yeah, Elijah Wood is Frodo Baggins. They added Kate Winslet. Andy Serkis is Gollum. Ian McKellen is Gandalf before he fucking passed. So Frodo's in it. Now, it could still be when you say it is C-Dub. And they're just bringing Frodo in. Like, they're going to do the flashback thing, maybe. I can see that being a reason, being set where you say it's set and Elijah Wood still being in it. Maybe it's just him and Gandalf talking, and then, they do the and then we get that story. Yeah, young Aragorn. So, yeah, I don't know. It's got to be flashbacks then. Like, they'll be using Frodo. Basically, Frodo will be, like, the reason the movie happens. Probably be that. But yeah, this... I have concerns about this movie, chat. What do you guys think? Any thoughts on that? Think they'll use Frodo as the storytelling character? Yeah, I think you're right. I do agree, sir. I mean, that's the only way it makes sense for Frodo to be in it in the first place if it's based on a young Aragorn and it's before the Fellowship of the Ring. Got to be that. Got to be, or something very very like that anyway. But probably that. Yeah. Any further thoughts on that, chat? Before we delve into some other stuff, a couple little baby DC Warner Brothers tidbits for you. You ready to move on? Damn it! Why's my eye itch? Ugh. I don't understand what is happening. All right, chat. So, we haven't talked about this in a minute, but there's a little tidbit about the Paramount Warner Brothers deal. As we know, Paramount came back with a final offer, and Ted Sarandos and Netflix went, you know what? We're cool. Here's your, what was it, 5 or 8 billion for us to back out. Warner Brothers, enjoy. We're good. We're going to go buy Ben Affleck's AI company instead. Yeah. I got schmeckma. Hold on. Oh, my glasses. These are the times when I miss my contacts. I have no idea what the fuck y'all just typed there right now. Hold on. It didn't help at all. Okay, maybe a little. After Gandalf realizes Bilbo has the ring and goes on a quest where he meets Aragorn and then goes back. Okay. My mic's off. What do you mean my mic's off? Can you hear me now? What are you talking about? That's on. It's showing on my doodad here on my Streamlabs. Did I get too far away from the mic? No sound. What the hell? Hello? Oh, Jay, you can hear me? Refresh your stream, Dan. Oh, no, Brooke, you're all good. Oh, that's right. You're flying out to see your sister again. Yay! Safe travels, my guy, and have fun. Yeah, my bad. I forgot about that shit. No, you don't need to apologize, bro. You're handling business. You're getting ready to go spend family time. Do your thing. Right. Where was I? Oh, yes, Paramount. Netflix backing off. Paramount wins the bidding war. However, as we discussed before, they have obstacles to clear. Now, the board approved it, and we've already talked about, so that's one. The last time we talked about this, we discussed like the myriad regulatory obstacles they're going to have to go through. But they still have one more before they even get to the regulatory obstacles, and that is this. Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders will vote on the proposed $111 billion merger with Paramount Skydance at a special meeting set for April 23rd. So it's not the government that's up next. It's the shareholders. The board's approved it, which is why it's even going to a shareholder vote in the first place. But the shareholders are up next. And shareholders can occasionally be fickle. Wouldn't it be just fucking hysterical, chat, if Paramount went through all this, having to find all the fucking funding to make this final offer that finally made Sarandos go, nah, I'm good, and get board approval, only for the shareholders to be like, you know what? Fuck Paramount. We're not approving this motherfucker. Now, there's probably legal ways around it. I don't know. They could probably try the hostile takeover thing again, buy themselves majority shares, yada yada yada. So I'm sure there's ways around that. But wouldn't it be fucking hysterical? I would find it fucking hysterical. If on April 23rd, the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery went, you know what? We've done our research. Paramount is leveraged to all hell, which they are. They are leveraged to a ridiculous amount to get this deal done. And this will all probably end up failing, so fuck this shit. We vote no. Which would then force Paramount to have to do even more extra shit that they guarantee they do not want to do. And probably outside of some ridiculously magical accounting, probably can't even afford to do in reality. I think that would be hilarious. I don't know if it's, obviously I have no idea if it's going to happen. Probably not. I don't imagine there's that many shareholders that are super thorough, as it were, are actually willing to dive into the numbers and see what's happening. I doubt there are very many of those. Not enough to make a difference. But it would still be fucking hilarious if their shareholders were like, fam, we're good. You know, we like having our own studio. We're fine. Shoot. That'd be funny as fuck. To me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I would laugh my ass off. Any further thoughts on that shit, chat? You got any thoughts? I know. Not everyone gives a fuck about the business side of things. I'm probably mostly talking to myself. But that would be funny as shit if the shareholders were like, nah, dog. Nah, fam, we're good. All right. You guys want to talk about DC just for a wee little bit? A couple little baby DC items. Excuse me. And after this, I think it's Marvel the rest of the fucking way. Yeah. All right. On to the DC. There's that first one. Okay. Okay, so little bit of just a quick little minor, admittedly minor update about Man of Tomorrow. So, Lars Eidinger says he's training 4 times a week and working closely with James Gunn to shape Brainiac in Man of Tomorrow. He says, I already feel the pressure, but I was happy about this formulation because it means I'm not just a vicarious agent. I can contribute. He also revealed he recently flew to the U.S. for a 3-hour meeting and an extensive mask test to refine the character. So, to start with, he's training 4 times a week. I respect that shit. He's trying to beef up a bit, trying to look, like he belongs in a fucking superhero movie. That's cool. That's dope. I respect that shit. Now, about already feeling the pressure, but happy about this formulation because it means I'm not just a vicarious agent, I can contribute. Okay, so he's relatively involved, at least in the Brainiac part of things. I mean, he flew to the U.S. for a 3-hour meeting and an extensive mask test. Now, just because they use the word mask doesn't mean like he's going to be all weird looking and look like a combination of Brainiac and Bane. I mean, masks are frequently also faces. I mean, just look at Mission Impossible. They do this shit all the time. Oh, fucking Marvel does it too. With the those digital faces, like at the end of Winter Soldier, that Black Widow used to get into the Triskelion, the big office. Yeah, good luck, Jay, man. I hope you find a better job that stresses you out way less. I know that the job you got now been fucking with you, bro. I hope you can get out of there soon. So, I mean, like I said, this is not a big deal, but, I think mostly I just think it's cool that he's training 4 times a week because, if you're going to be in a superhero movie, you should want to look like you belong there. Now, Brainiac isn't generally drawn as like a massive motherfucker, but he's also not drawn like a skinny little bitch either. So, that's good. I respect that. Now, not that this wasn't going to happen anyway, because it always happens in movies, but, you know, coming to a big old meeting and doing an extensive mass test so they can at least hopefully making it look the best possible. Like, they need to do a better job of Brainiac than Marvel did with the leader. That's for fucking sure. I don't know what the hell that mess on his head was, but it was fucked up. So, like I said, not a big deal, but, he's training and he's contributing and, that kind of shit. Not a massive thing, but there it is. What do you guys think? Do you even care? Thoughts? Questions? Anything? I won't be mad if there's nothing. Like I said, it's just a little tidbit. Just a little tidbit. Just a little tidbit. Oh, absolute. Yeah, it's crazy. And I don't. I would love to see the absolute universe on screen. The only problem is in order for it to be, truly four quadrant, they'd have to go the way Marvel. They'd have to do what Marvel does for the most part. Obviously, there are exceptions here and there. Well, mostly just one, movie wise. Um, you can't. You got to be PG-13, and I haven't read very much of the absolute universe, but from what little I have read and all the other shit I've seen, that's a fucking R-rated universe, dog. Like, I don't know if you could do the absolute universe justice with a PG-13 movie. Like, I really have no idea. And it's not like putting the Punisher and Spider-Man and doing clever shit like webbing him up when he's about to swear. Like, that's a lot different. That's one character in the midst of a bunch of other characters that we're used to seeing in PG-13 mode, right? That the absolute line is all R-rated all the time. So I would love to see it on screen, but I don't know how well they could actually adapt that shit and still keep it as dope as the comics are. And as vicious as the comics are. You know what I mean? I just don't know if that's possible. I just don't know. What the fuck? All right. Here's a fun little DC rumor that I really, 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 really want to be true. And that is this. Both Superman and Batman will get new suits in Man of Tomorrow and the Batman 2. So this is going to look different, and this is going to look different. And you know what, chat? I want it. I need it. Less so with the Batman costume, although I hate the logo. Like, I hate that his bat just looks like a batarang. I'm not a big fan of this. But I don't mind, like, the armor. I actually don't even mind the collar too much, although I wouldn't be mad if they fucking got rid of it. But yeah, if they were only going to change one, you can leave this the way it is. But please change this ugly ass fucking super suit. Oh my god, I hate this suit. I've hated this suit from jump, and I have seen nothing to make me appreciate it at all. Like, my opinion of this suit has not improved. It never will. I don't like this suit. I don't like the lines. I don't like the collar. No. Please change it. Please let this be true. I want this suit to change. Well, I want it to change drastically. I don't know that it's going to change that drastically, unfortunately. But I can hope, and I will hope. But even if it's improved some, I'll take it. I will take any improvements on this fucking suit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love improvements on this suit too. But I find this suit a lot less offensive than I do this one. That's just me. So yeah, I fucking hate the super suit. I'm not a huge fan of this one, but I can deal with this one. I can't stand this one. Cannot fucking stand it. So please be right, MCM culture. Please be right. Please be telling me the truth. Please give me a new super suit. Pretty please. With sugar or whatever thing that whoever's in charge of the suit likes. Just do it. Just change. Make it better. Just make it better. Please. Please make it better. I hate that suit. Have I mentioned I hate that fucking super suit? I hate that super suit, chat. If this is true, this is excellent, excellent news. What do you guys think? You want some new suits for these guys? Do you want some new suits for those guys? Because I do. What do you guys think? Time for new suits? Are you hoping for new suits? Do you want this rumor to be true? Are you with me on this shit? Are we here? All right. Chat. One last DC thing. Supergirl might be in trouble, chat. Supergirl might be in some serious fucking trouble. And here's why I say that. So, Cryptic HD quality. Scooper. We've talked about him before. Josh has talked about him. The name should not be unfamiliar to you. Pretty good. Not amazing. Not Alex, not Jeff Snyder, but he's pretty good. So he pops off this random tweet the other day. And when I read it, you're going to be like, why the fuck did Chillin' bookmark this? You'll see. So he just randomly popped off with, film having this much test screenings really turns me off. Because why are we now on the 6th, 7th test screening if it's said to be so amazing? Ugh, whatever, I'm the hater. So I saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck movie is he even talking about? So I scrolled up a little, and then I found this one. Supergirl now has a slightly different ending. So I went back and found that one where he's complaining about all the test screenings. I bookmarked that. Chat. You remember a while back we talked about the early test screenings for Supergirl, and there was a lot of good news, a lot of positive vibes coming out of those test screenings. People were saying it was pretty good. Most people were saying it was pretty good. It had its detractors. Things always will. But the overall vibe was this is going to be a pretty fucking good movie. But now, according to Cryptic, this thing is now on its 6th or 7th test screening. And on top of that, they've changed the ending. Cryptic has a point. Amazing movies don't need 6, 7 test screening. They need 2, maybe 3 tops. And then they can lock it and move on with life. 6th or 7th. Now, to be fair, before I like start drilling in on this shit. To be fair, I do not know the average number of test screenings a movie goes through. I do not. The average could be 6 or 7. Could be higher. I don't know. To be completely fair, I don't know. However, I believe Cryptid's point is valid. If it's so amazing, why does it need that many test screenings? And then why does the ending need to be changed if it's amazing from jump? The math ain't math in chat. You're not changing endings and doing a ton or what appears to be a ton of screenings. Unless that movie's in trouble. Unless you're getting a lot of mixed results in those screenings. probably shouldn't need that many screenings. I don't know. 100%, I don't know. But if the early word on the movie was it's amazing, why is it still being test screened? And why are they now changing the ending? Even if it's slightly different, you're still changing the ending. That's a big deal. How do we know changing the ending is a big deal? I submit for evidence, Your Honor, Ant-Man Quantumania. Kevin got his panties all in a fucking bunch about the ending leaking, and so he changed it. For the worse. By far, for the worse. Now, there hasn't been shit for leaks about this movie, so it's not James Gunn getting his panties all up in a bunch because the ending leaked, and he's like, God damn it. That is not the case here. What appears to be the case here is this movie is requiring test screening after test screening after test screening because the results have been mixed. Logically, that would be the logical conclusion. Okay, maybe they'll like this version. No. Okay, maybe they'll like this version. No. Maybe they'll like this version. No, not really. Okay, what if we change the ending of it? That's not a movie that's in good shape, chat. Not logically. So, I got to tell you, I mean, I'm still going to go see this, and I'm still looking forward to it. But I am now a fair chunk less confident in the quality of this movie. Like I thought I had, up until I saw this, I figured we were in for a really good movie that probably wasn't going to do shit in the box office, Thunderbolt style. What up, Dave? That's what I thought we were looking at for Supergirl. A movie that's actually way better than what its box office will say it is. Like the Thunderbolts. After this, I don't know if that's the fucking case anymore, chat. If it's needed that many test screenings and now they're changing the ending, we might be in for a Supergirl movie that deserves the low box office that it's probably going to get. And I don't find that a happy thought. Supergirl might be cooked, chat. Not just in terms of box office, but in terms of quality. And I'm not. That's not really good news. What do you guys think, chat? Nothing. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Oh, yeah. All right, chat. Well, that's it for DC. I'm going to go pee real quick. And then it's Marvel from here on out. Not all about Jean Grey. There's a couple other little Marvel ditties I want to go over real quick. Nothing major. But, yeah. I'm going to go pee real quick. I'll be back in a little while. I mean it. Not too long at all. But, and then it's Marvel from here on out. But in the meantime, I will turn the music up. Oops, not that loud. And, I'll leave you with my chosen I need to step away from the screensaver. Or, well, what I'm going to choose to use instead of this. What I'm going to choose to use instead of this is much, much better. Here you go. Real life jiggle physics are superior to rivals. That's all I got to say. All right, chat. What up, Darboyd? How you doing, brother? Just because I turned it off for you guys doesn't mean I'm not still watching it, though. Okay. I'm actually going to stop. But yeah, that's, I figure that's a lot better to look at when I have to go pee than this. You know, more interactive, as it were. All right. What order do I want to go in? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So, real quick, the Disney Entertainment Showcase will officially take place on August 14th at D23. It'll feature major announcements and trailers from Disney, Lucasfilm, Marvel Studios, Pixar, and more. All right, chat. Why am I talking about D23 when it's in August? Well, because of the major announcements and trailers, for one. Now, do I think, and we're all wondering when we're going to get the first Doomsday trailer. We got those 4 little quick character teasers back in December. You know, got the conversation going, got hype going, especially the fucking Thor one and the X-Men one. Holy, those were awesome. The prayer and then fucking Ian McKellen's narration and that Cyclops fucking optical blast. My God, that shit was amazing. But we haven't had shit since then. I mean, we've had some, image releases and stuff. Got this shirt. Got some keychains, some other shit, right? But we haven't gotten a trailer. Now, D23 is in August. Do I think they're going to wait all the way till August to give us our first Doomsday trailer? I mean, that is still 4 months before the movie comes out. They could. I don't believe so. I believe that will probably be the second trailer. I believe we will get a second trailer for Doomsday there. Or maybe not at all. But I do not think that'll be when we get the first trailer. Why do I think it will be sooner than that? Well, I'll tell you why, chat. Because there are 2 major events happening next month. There is CinemaCon. I have to look at the calendar. I can give you the exact weekend, the dates. Well, or I can just Google it. Come on, Pokey. Okay, so CinemaCon is the weekend of April 13th through the 16th, and it's in Vegas. I don't want to go. But yeah, so there's CinemaCon, which will have. Oops, nope, go back to the studios. Well, all the major studios are going to be there presenting stuff, right? So that's opportunity number 1 for a Doomsday trailer. But that's not the only one. Only big thing that's happening movie-wise in April. Wait, what? Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. What the fuck? Oh. Okay, yep. Okay. Woo! Thought I done fucked up. All right, so CinemaCon, April 13th through 16th. And then 2 weeks after that, we have CCXP Mexico, which, as we all know, CCXP is a big old basically Latin American, South American Comic Con kind of thing. So that's two massive and even somewhat likely opportunities for Marvel to give the world its first look at Doomsday. Like, real look. Not a little character vignette, but an actual fucking trailer. Or a teaser. Although I doubt it's going to be a short teaser. It'll be like the Lanterns teaser, 2 minutes and change. Probably. I mean, to me, anything over a minute long is a trailer. Or a minute and a half, I suppose. I mean, if you hit 2 minutes, you're a fucking trailer. You can't be a teaser anymore. But that's just me. That's like pedantics and semantics. But they'll still probably call it a teaser. But I'm hoping we get like a good 2 minutes of action. Pause. You think we're gonna get it at CinemaCon? That would be dope because that's 2 weeks earlier than CCXP. But I think it could be either. And the only reason I'm gonna say, honestly, I think CCXP is a bit more likely, only because CCXP is more of a naturally nerdy venue than CinemaCon, which is for like just movies in general of all types. You know, whereas CCXP is kind of more comic booky, nerdy kind of thing. But very well could be CinemaCon. This is just my own personal feelings. I'm leaning more CCXP, but I would definitely, timing-wise, prefer CinemaCon. Because I'd rather get it in mid-April than the end of April. I really would have rather gotten it at the Super Bowl. I still feel fucking gypped for that. Give me 4 trailers in December, or 4 little doodads in December. Make it feel like it's building up to something and then nothing. Fucking Marvel edged the fuck out of us with that. My nerd balls are still blue. They're a lighter shade of blue after that Spider-Man trailer, but they're still blue. Entirely possible, Mr. Dub. Entirely possible. Like, I hope you're right and I'm wrong. Like, honestly. That's twice tonight I'm hoping to have been wrong. This is a weird night. I'm going to do one shot. Just randomly. Chaim. I forgot to roll it back the proper way. So, yeah, do I think we're going to have to wait till August? Yeah, I did a quick one. Do I think we're going to have to wait till August at D23? No. Disney always brings the heart at CinemaCon. Well, I hope you're fucking right, bro. I really, really do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to bring a heart at CinemaCon. I just don't know if they're going to bring what we want at CinemaCon. But I hope so. But I definitely do not think they're going to fucking edge us all the way to August. Like, frankly, I would be, like, I'd be so pissed. I would probably crash out. I may crash out if we don't get it in April. Like, honestly. The more I think about it, yeah. If we don't get it at either CinemaCon or CCXP, I'm gonna have to shit on Marvel just a little bit. Gonna have to do it because what the fuck, guys? Yeah, I don't see them waiting till August. Here's what I want. Speaking of conventions and all that shit, chat. You know how everyone basically skipped fucking SDCC last year? SDCC is only 4 months away. And we have heard nothing about who's going to be there. Now, should we have? Because I'm not 100%. sure about the timing of when shit starts getting announced for SDCC. It could still be a little early, you know, but still haven't heard shit about it. And I find that at a minimum curious, unless again one of you has a much better idea about how this shit times out. Generally, like announcements and that shit. And if it's too early, cool. But if it's not, what the fuck? Y'all better get your asses back to Hall H. All the big insiders are saying CinemaCon. Well, good. I hope they're right then. They're already competing with Dune for IMAX. CinemaCon makes all the sense in the world. Plus, they let D&D have a little breathing room. True. Although I don't think they give a fuck about not having IMAX. I don't give a fuck about them not having IMAX. They're still Dolby. They're still ScreenX. They're still 4DX. There's that story came out. Remember, I shared the tweet in the Discord. Like, yeah, Disney's saying they're going to go after all these other premium screens. And I'm like, oh, gee, sounds like an option I gave them on Saturday. When I was talking about how, like, them not having IMAX and Dune having IMAX really doesn't make a fucking... makes, at best, a minimal difference. Dolby greater than IMAX. And I saw Predator Badlands on ScreenX. That was actually pretty cool. Although I do have to say I'm going to need to sit farther back next time because I wasn't quite far enough back or really quite enough in the middle to truly appreciate the setup. But it was still pretty fucking cool. And I want to see more movies in ScreenX. But yeah, like there are many other premium screen options besides IMAX. IMAX is just, been around the longest. I didn't realize how long. That shit's been around since the 70s. I was today years old when I learned IMAX has been around since the 70s. Oh, CinemaCon is all theater owners. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully CinemaCon, April 13th through 16th, guys. What is that, 2 weeks? 3? 3 weeks. Yeah, like 3 weeks, y'all. True. Very true. That is true. Theaters are the ones you want to be hyped. They're the ones that promote it. True that. So yeah. So we got CinemaCon and CCXP next month. Then we got D23 in August. So we better get a goddamn Doomsday trailer next month. That's all I'm saying. I'll riot. Verbally. I will verbally riot if we don't get a Doomsday trailer next month. But I think there's a good shot we'll get a second look at Doom in August at D23. That's how I feel about that, chat. That's what I think. My prediction. That is my prediction. God damn. Okay. How about a couple little Daredevil things, chat? First, the Daredevil Born Again showrunner, the Dario Scartapane, he's been dropping little bits of quotes all week. Just renewed Disney Plus at the cost of £149 for the year. Damn! I don't know what that is, and how much is what's a yearly here in real money? By the way, did y'all see that Sony is jumping the prices on all their PlayStation shit? Y'all see that? Shit's jumping $100. PS5 price is going up $100. And I thought it was going to be a while before I fucking got one in the first place. This shit's supposed to be going down. What about yearly? Yearly. Give me yearly. I don't care about fucking monthly. You're only giving me monthly. You motherfucker. Oh well. I'm not digging into it that hard. I don't care that much. But yeah, damn. 149 pounds. That's crazy. $197 US for 149 pounds. God damn. That's crazy. Meanwhile, PS5 barely has a library to play still. I know. Like, I'd only want like 3 games for it myself, like real talk. I'd want a Madden. I'd want MLB The Show. And probably some kind of fighting game to suck at. Maybe a Mortal Kombat game or something. That'd be about it. Y'all know I'm not a huge gamer. Is it something to do with the price of the chips? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's not like imports and exports haven't been in upheaval for a year. That's as far as I'm going with that. But y'all know what I fucking mean. Anyway. Yeah. Sony's jumping all their shit by $100. I'll find the tweet. Let's see if I can find the tweet. Or I'll find a tweet about it. Give me a second here. Okay, I don't want that in a video. Give me a list. Oh, and they're increasing the PlayStation Plus plans too. Yep. Sony is raising the price of its PlayStation consoles for the second time in a year, citing rising costs amid the Iran war and tariffs. As of April 2nd, these are going to be the new prices. In the US, PS5 $650. PS5 Digital $600, PS5 Pro $900. And then, Dave, for you, PS5 is going to jump to $570, $520 for the digital, and $790 for the Pro. Pound sterling. Yeah. Effective Monday? Tuesday. Effective Tuesday, chat. If only RAM price would go down, yeah. Yeah, there's that too. So yeah, Sony going the wrong direction. I mean, I understand there's, turbulence and tariffs and wars and all that shit, but bruh, you need to be thinking pennies from many instead of pounds from a few in this situation. Which means you lower the price and sell a fuck ton, and that'll be the same as selling a very few at a higher price. Yeah, tell me about it, Darboid. What the fuck? Luckily, you've already got a PS5. Well, yeah, I don't. And now it's going to be even longer before I do. Okay, but yeah, which how the fuck did we even get on that? Oh yeah, talking about costs of shit. And oh, Netflix is raising their prices again too. By the way, I don't know if you saw that. Fuckers. All right. Anyway, let's get off the fact that the shit we like and is getting more expensive every fucking day. Moving on. Escapism. 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 Here we go. Ready? Daredevil stuff. According to the showrunner, Mr. Dario Scarpane, the final minutes of season 2 will set up the story for season 3. In the final 5 minutes of season 2, there will be no more questions about where this is going. I say, cool, but I also say, why are you making us wait till fucking 9:55 p.m. on May the 5th, or 9:50 p.m. on May the 5th, you motherfucker? Like, what? Why you got to do that? But that is, in and of itself, that's cool. Setting the timing of it aside, having a clear vision for what we can expect in season 3, which I think has it started filming or will start filming very soon. Let me double check that. Excuse me. Oh, it's already begun filming. Began filming at the beginning of the month. Cool. So, I mean, again, setting aside the fact that it's like literally last fucking minute when we're going to find out exactly where it's going, that is very cool that they will be basically going, boom, here's what you're getting next season. Or here's the setup for next season. Have fun thinking about that till 2027. Basically, chat, I like resolution. Like, I like it when you go, okay, here's where this part ends. Here's some info about the next part. See you in the next part. Like, I'm about that life. So, again, not a major thing, but for me personally, again, I don't like the fact they're waiting till literally the last fucking 5 minutes. But I do like the fact that we're looking at getting some kind of solid setup and resolution to what's happening this season. I'm down for that. You know, that Invincible episode apparently was, yeah, it was the lowest rated one, which honestly doesn't surprise me. I mean, I liked it, but they did have heavy uh it was kind of fillery. It was kind of a filler episode. Now, mind you, I don't mind, I thought it was kind of cool. It grew on me. I mean, it did help a lot that it had Bruce Campbell in it because I'm a Bruce Campbell stan. And you can always hook me with Bruce Campbell. So I admit that kind of played on one of my weaknesses. Maybe that made me like it better than a lot of other people. Entirely possible. That could be the case. um, but yeah. But I'm also not surprised because it was very fillery. I have seen out there in the Twitterverse where some people find um, how they explained how hell operates and Satan operates. Um, well, a lot of them were basically reacting like it was heresy and offensive. And it's like it's a fucking animated show. Who cares how they present Satan and hell? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I'm also not surprised because it was just it was. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was an okay episode. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, in my opinion. But I'll definitely understand how it's the lowest rated episode out of all of them. It's not a hill I'm going to die on. I'm not going to try and defend that fucking episode if someone's be like, it sucked. Okay. And unless they think it sucked for a dumbass reason, like how it portrayed hell and Satan in the grand scheme of things, like, just shut the fuck up with that. So, if you want to bag on it for being kind of fillery or like really standalone and disconnected for the most part, I ain't going to argue with you. I understand it. And I liked the episode, but I wasn't so fond of it that I'm going to attempt to defend it. But it was decent. But I also understand. All right, chat. Make an appearance in your Stargate video on Sidetrack Facebook page. Hope I don't mind, but better ask for permission. Nah, dude, it's cool. Totally cool. My channel is small and I can use the exposure, frankly. Thought the end guy is foggy, but he has had plastic surgery or something. Which end guy? You lost me on that one, C-Dub. I need more context. Maybe I'm probably just being dense. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Oh, the heartbeat off foggy flashback made me think. Oh, okay. Wait. What end guy? What, Cherry? Whom do you mean? I'm lost. I probably need to go back and rewatch the episode. I'm not quite sure who you're talking about. But that's on me. Not on you. That's on me. Frankly, might be a little bit on this. If I'm being honest, might be a little bit of that vape's fault too. Hopefully I didn't offend you with that, Dave. Oh. Also, I hope people probably replay people because I don't think anyone in the chat minds. But if you're offended by the Sydney Sweeney video I put up when I have to be away from the stream, I need you to recognize that this is a nerdy channel and that nerds are gooners. And Sydney Sweeney is one of the most goonable people out there. So, sorry, not sorry. Figured I'd address that real quick. All right. This is kind of fun, chat. And what we're about to talk about actually, if I recall, actually came up in Josh's chat. Check this shit out, though. There's this post from Sammy J. Jonah Jameson. It says, I have a theory about Muse, but I'm not sure if I like it. Shows Heather, whom we all know and love. And then this comic book cover with a female Muse and a female Daredevil. Isn't this when Elektra was Daredevil, maybe? So obviously, and again, someone actually brought this up in Josh's chat before the premiere. Oh, thank you. Thanks, mate. But yeah, Heather ending up being her own version of Muse. Someone brought that up, and now this person has posted it. Now, why do I give a fuck if some rando on Twitter posted this theory about Heather becoming a female Muse? Because it was reposted by Alex Perez. That's why. Because Alex Perez reposted it. I never would have seen this shit, but I follow Alex. And he reposted it. Now, Alex, as we know, he loves being vague. He loves being mysterious. He doesn't generally say shit flat out, but he loves dropping hints. And he doesn't troll us. That's the key. He can be mysterious, he can be vague, he can be cryptic, and I don't mean cryptic HD just as an adjective in general. But he doesn't troll at least for the most part. So the fact that Alex reposted this, I think, has a good chance of being significant. I'll just put it that way. Based on what we saw in the episode with her constantly zoning out, seeing Muse in like windows and shit, or right in front of her, right before she goes to get the vodka. I can see it happening. I mean, I was fine when she was just, having a mental breakdown and losing it. But if she becomes Lady Muse, I would like that even more, honestly, chat. Forget her just having a breakdown. Let her go full psycho and become Lady Muse. For me, that would actually be a character redemption. It wouldn't be a moral character redemption, but it would redeem the existence of her character. Does that make sense? Her fully becoming Lady Muse would redeem the existence of that character in the first place. And then this guy is like, wait, why did Alex repost the Muse theory? And then Alex posted this. Picture of Muse, and then Thanos saying, everyone creates the thing they dread. So he didn't just retweet a theory. He answered a dude that was like, why? With fucking this. I think it's pretty damn likely that Heather's going to become Lady Muse in some form or fashion, chat. Don't know if she'll go full costume, but Heather's definitely going to go psycho. And Alex is definitely, in my opinion, strongly hinting that Heather's going to go full Lady Muse. And you know what, chat? I'm here for that shit. I am here for that shit. Have that Karen lecturing ass, annoying ass character go full psycho killer. And I think that would be a good way to redeem all the dumb shit they had her do in season 1. Sanov, you think she's definitely doing that? I think the chances just increased a lot if Alex is hinting at it, for sure. I mean, I would have been satisfied with her just having a mental breakdown and ending up in an institution or something. I would have been cool with that, but this, fuck yeah, give me that. And then have Daredevil beat her to holy hell before unmasking her and realizing who he just beat the ever loving shit out of. I'm fine with that too. I feel like this is pretty on the nose in the first episode. I don't know if people are questioning it or having a problem with it. Yeah, I don't know either. Heather Muse and Guy are going to cancel Secret Wars. What's up, Delta Dan? Heather Muse actually makes a fuck ton more sense than Gaia. Stanoff believes Matthew Lillard's character is transforming into Jester, as he is fitting in society to get what he wants, like what Jester does. I'm not super familiar with Jester. Actually, I'm not familiar with Jester at all. Huh. Jester, also known as the Clown. Jonathan Powers is his name. Debuted in Daredevil 42 and 68. Created by Stan Lee and Gene Colan. Appeared 2013 Superior Spider-Man series. Okay. Mentioned in the 2016 Civil War II series. Struggling actor Hugh Gigo, off Broadway advisor in Bergerac, panned by critics by the end, powers required performance. Obsessively, he continues to study various arts and crafts that he thought would earn roles, things like gymnastics, bodybuilding. Okay. Turned out suggestions that you should take actual acting classes. 16, he already had more raw acting talent than anyone who had ever lived. Okay. Still, Powers was only able to find employment as a stooge in a children's TV show taped in New York. Finally getting fed up with having Posner's face, Powers vents his anger society by turning his extensive training in gymnastic fencing to a life of crime. Contracting the criminal weapons maker, the Tinkerer, to make him a number of gimmicks, Powers finds himself a harlequin-like disguise and calls himself Jester. After getting some notoriety as a professional thief, the Jester is hired by Richard Raleigh to get Foggy Nelson to resign his campaign for DA. This brings the Jester into conflict with Daredevil, who continues trying to apprehend him even after they find Raleigh dead. Angered by Daredevil's persistence, he vows revenge. The civilian guy's power stages his own murder at the end of Daredevil, blah, blah, blah. Cobra and Mr. High. Okay. Well, I mean, if they're going to make Matthew Lillard the Jester, they're definitely going to have to do some character adjustments, because there's nothing about Matthew Lillard that indicates he works out or does gymnastics at all. But again, this is Marvel Studios. They never do a one-to-one anyway, so who knows? They could do that shit. There was some people on Fisk and Vanessa don't love how they're doing them as a couple. Last season was more than enough of the partnership. So, okay. I mean, that's fair. Like, I don't really give two shits either way, honestly. Like, when their relationship, I mean, I did appreciate it more, I think, in the Netflix Daredevil, but, like, that's an aspect of the show that I'm not really super invested in. Honestly, I kind of liked it better when they were fighting. A lot more tension, a lot more chance for stuff to happen. So, yeah, I'm not, like, super invested in how they handle them as a couple, but that's just me. That is just me. Yeah. Heather becoming Lady Muse, I'm down. How about you guys? Imagine if Matthew Lillard just becomes Stilt Man. Feels like they've neutered Fisk for no reason, and it made Vanessa less interesting. I mean, I'm mostly with you. I mean, he is mayor, so it's not like he can run around doing a lot of the shit he did on Netflix. I mean, he did, fucking squeeze that one motherfucker's head like a zit, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I would, in terms of seeing Fisk be more Fisk, I definitely want that. I definitely want I want more Fisk being Kingpin than Fisk being Fisk. I'm totally with you there. 100% totally. We're here on that one. I mean, this was just the first episode. There's still 7 more to go. So there's plenty of chances for them to have Fisk like be much more Kingpin than Fisk. Hopefully they do. I think they will kill Vanessa, which transforms Fisk into who he was in the Netflix show. Well, Vanessa was in the Netflix show. She's a carryover. But if they kill Vanessa, I shudder to think what Fisk would do, but at the same time, I want them to put it on film and on screen. It irritates me, says Darboyd, that actual Muse was barely even a character in season 1, and now they're making Heather the new Muse. That is fair. That is totally fair. That is kind of lame. The actual Muse was severely underutilized. Very severely underutilized. No argument there. But they also killed the motherfucker. And Heather as a character, at least for me personally, I will enjoy much more as a Lady Muse than season 1 version. Depends on Vanessa. She actually is one of my favorite characters. Oh, I enjoyed her very much in the Netflix season. I did. Seasons. But yeah, hashtag let Kingpin be Kingpin. For sure. Hashtag let Kingpin be Kingpin. I think Bullseye could fit in as a Thunderbolt or anti-hero team. Yeah, if they wanted to take his character and redeem him just enough to be accepted dish by heroes, I don't think that pissed me off too much, as long as they didn't totally nerf him and, he'd still have to be ultra violent. He'd still have to kill on a whim. He would just have to do it less. But not too much less. You know what? Fuck that. He needs to just stay a villain. Nope. I need Bullseye being a psycho killer that can kill you with damn near anything that he can throw at you. Excuse me. Yeah, Vanessa's character could definitely use some adjustment. I'm not going to argue that at all. I'm going to agree with you. Like they need to let these characters return to like them. Like Kingpin be Kingpin. Let Vanessa be Vanessa. Like, I care more about them as individual characters than I care about their on-screen relationship, I guess, would probably be the way to put it. I think that's probably the way to put it. don't have chemistry. What's funny is that she's the one from the Netflix show, though. That's what's wild. They need to they need different people in charge of their character arcs. I guess is probably the way I will put it. They need different ideas or different people dealing with that part of them. I think the leader will play a part in Doomsday or Secret Wars. Secret Wars, no, maybe a little bit in Doomsday. Maybe I should rephrase that just a bit and say I find the odds higher for Doomsday than I do Secret Wars. I can't completely rule him out. They could find a way to use him in Secret Wars. I would personally wouldn't bother. Personally, I would just leave his ass on the raft and forget he exists, but that's just me. But if they're going to use him, it would make more sense to me to use him in Doomsday than Secret Wars. All right, chat. Time to get to the main shit. I'd have to go back and rewatch the Netflix series. But yeah, I don't remember if they ever explained that shit. I feel like they maybe alluded to childhood trauma, but just an illusion. All right, chat. It's time to get to the goods, man. Goddamn. Anyway, so Jeff Snyder. We've talked about him plenty of times. He's on that podcast with John Roca called The Hot Mic. And he, in terms of being an insider / scooper, he is, I mean, if you encompass all his work, which he does for like entertainment in general, not just nerdy shit, although he gets his fair chunk of news about the nerdy projects that we care about. He is an entertainment reporter, right? So his record is pretty fucking impeccable when you include everything he talks about. Like the scoopers we follow are mostly just about nerdy shit. Not completely, but mostly. Jeff is much more well-rounded, so he puts out a lot more scoops about a lot more different shit, and his percentage is still fucking stellar. Not perfect, none of them are, but he's the best in the game. Arguably the best in the game. And he actually had 2 scoops on Thursday. 2. The other one doesn't get talked about very much, and, that's not surprising. But he had 2 scoops. Now, a long, long time ago, there was a rumor, and I think it might even been Jeff that put it out, is that Marvel was looking to cast an older female villain role in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Do you guys remember this? I didn't remember it till Jeff brought it up when he was talking about what we're about to talk about. But once he brought it up, I did remember that. Do you guys remember that? Because I'm pretty sure we talked about it at least for a minute or 2. Not long. But do you guys remember about that? That Marvel was looking to cast an older female villain, not like comic Aunt May old, but not in the 20s either. You guys remember that rumor? Well, they made some offers. Anne Hathaway and Sarah Snook, I don't know who the fuck that lady is, it's this one, passed on a female villain role in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So, why does that matter? Well, because it's, one less villain. It's a character they gave up on, apparently, according to Jeff. And it is his belief. He hasn't verified this 100%. But it's his belief that they're like, all right, well, no one seems to want this motherfucking role. So, we're going to crash it and roll a couple aspects of it into the Jean Grey role, into Sadie Sink. That's what he thinks happened. No one would bite. Evidently, he was not that good a character, which is the only reason I can think of outside of they didn't want to pay him what they wanted for them to take that role. But from what it sounds like is they took a look at the role and were like, I'm good. So it must not have been great. So I am totally fine with them shit canning said role. Now, if Jeff's right and they chose to roll aspects of that role, I'm using that word too many times. If they decided to put aspects of that role into Sadie Sink's character, as long as it makes sense, cool. Like I said, not a massive deal, but interesting that, again, I don't know who Sarah Snook is, but everyone knows who Anne Hathaway is. You know, she can fucking act. She looks pretty good. She's like, nah, fam, I don't need this shit. So, like, the corollary to this is Matt Reeves not being able to find anyone to play fucking, what's his damn name? Thomas Dent. Or Christopher Dent. Whatever Harvey Dent's dad's name is. And he's offered it to fucking De Niro. Who else did he actually offer it to? Daniel Craig was an unverified rumor. Who's the other big name that was confirmed that turned that down? Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, so Marvel at least was smart enough to probably, again, Jeff didn't have this 100% verified, but it looks like Marvel shit canned the role, which is good. Instead of trying to force it, just cast somebody and put it in there and like, the hell with it. Smart move. But that was just his first less important scoop, obviously. The big one was that he is willing to come out and say and this is significant when Jeff does this. He used the word, he will confirm that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. Now, Jeff does not use that word lightly. At all. He does not use the word lightly. If it's a rumor, he says it's a rumor. If it's speculation, he says it's speculation. Most of the time, he'll be like, I heard it from a really trusted source, but he only rarely uses the word confirm. He used the word confirm for this. Chat. The only further proof we could possibly have would be the trades reporting it. Or the studio announcing it. But if the trades report it, that's basically the studio announcing it, as we all know. We've talked about that plenty of time. Right? That's not news. But Jeff used the word confirm. And he rarely does that. So, she's fucking Jean Grey. Like, we've basically known for a while, but again, this is the best confirmation you're going to get, not from the fucking studio. Sadie's Jean Grey. Like, she's not Dazzler. She's not Firestar. She's not Mayday Parker. She's not Madeline Pryor. She's not Rachel Summers. Who else was theorized? She's not Gwen Stacy. Harloff claimed she was playing Gwen Stacy. I think, Black Cat's another one. No, she's definitely Jean Grey. She is definitely Jean Grey. And there's more, chat. My time to shine, hello. Which I saw vicariously as I explained that punk bitch couldn't handle me trolling her anymore and blocked me. But again, I follow other people who report what she says, so I'll find out about shit what she says one way or the other. Anyway, she said that Sadie is signed on for 4 to 5 movies with Marvel. I can't remember if it includes this one or not. So even if it does include this one, she's according to my time to shine, hello, she signed up for 3 or 4 more movies after this. There's already rumors out that Secret Wars is going to be one of them. Now, obviously, since she's Jean Grey, the X-Men movie is going to be another one. But we're looking at one or two more after that. Now, will she only be in X-Men movies? She could pop up in other shit, right? So it's not guaranteed that past Secret Wars she's only going to be in an X-Men titled movie. But according to My Time to Shine Hello, she's signed up for, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 total or 4 or 5 more. But either way, Sadie going to be around a while. And you're not signing her to a contract to play Dazzler for 4 or 5 movies. Or Firestar. Or Madeline Pryor. Maybe Madeline Pryor. But unlikely for that many movies. 2, I can see. 4 or 5, she ain't fucking Madeline Pryor. She's not Firestar. She's not Rachel Summers. She's not Mayday Parker. You signed Sadie Sink up to play Jean Grey for that many movies. And Cryptic HD gave us another little tidbit. I'm assuming he's been sitting on this for a hot minute, and because he didn't put this little tidbit out until after Snyder dropped his confirmation. Check this shit out, chat. According to Cryptic, Jean's going to get the first step Sue treatment. Unlike previous Jean Greys, her powers have some new visual flair to them. More VFX are involved, and it's said to resemble her X-97 counterpart. So, the Sue Storm treatment, in other words, we get this actually, frankly, kick-ass visual representation of her force fields. And he says it's going to resemble her X-Men 97 counterpart, so he provides this image. Obviously, this was added. But yeah. So not only is Sadie Sink going to be Jean Grey, not only is Sadie Sink signed up for, 4 or 5 more movies or 4 or 5 movies total, but we're going to get a dope-ass vision, probably better than this. But we're going to get a cool visual representation of her powers similar to this. Chat. I'm fucking down for that shit. What do you guys think? She's Jean Grey. Sadie's going to be around for a chunk of movies, and they're going to hook her up with some dope visual effects. How do you feel about that, chat? I am here for all of it. I'm here for his Jean. I'm here for being around for a chunk of movies, and I'm here for them giving us a dope visual representation because, frankly, I've been wanting that shit for a long time. Like real talk, the closer you can get to like comics or an animated version of that shit, the happier this guy will be. I think it's fucking dope. I think it's all dope. I think her being Jean Grey's dope. I think her being around for a while is dope. And us getting visual representation of her powers, dope. Sick even. Hype. I'd go so far as to say it's hype. How you guys feeling about that? I gotta fucking pee again. So chat, you know what that means. That's probably a copywritten beat. But I'll be back. Jiggle physics. Jiggle physics. Jiggle physics. Anywho. There's a little bit more, chat. We have potential reason why they're casting that young. Because as we know, Sadie Sink is a youngin'. She's legal now, I think. But she is young. So obviously that hints that they're going for a younger X-Men team. But now we may have a potential reason as to why. So this is an article from Charles Murphy on his Murphy's Multiverse thing, and we've talked about Charles. Charles is an OG insider scooper. He's not in the game anymore. He will occasionally drop a little tidbit if he feels the need. People do still hit him up. He does still get told stuff, but he's not like in the game. Oh, the female Pedro. Yeah, there is a little bit of danger to that, but I think her appearances are going to be spread out. Like, we're going to get Spider-Man Brand New Day this year. If the rumors are true, Secret Wars at the end of 27. So we're talking a year and a half. And then however long it is from Secret Wars to the X-Men movie, that'll be at least another year and a half or so. So if there's an oversaturation of Sadie Sink, Marvel could be a part of it, but Marvel won't be the whole fucking thing. It just depends on what other projects she picks up and the timing of them. Sadie's 23. Icarus! What's up, brother? Also, for the information, Dankeschön. So, but yeah. So, Charles Murphy. OG scooper. Not so much in the game anymore. But again, we'll drop a tidbit from the source every once in a while. But the man knows nerdy content. The man knows the business. He's well set up to draw conclusions from various things out there and stuff. So here he wrote an article that has to do with why they're hiring so young. So, new rumor may indicate Marvel Studios is setting up an all-new X-Men adaptation. Okay, well, right there, that's like, because, you hear all new, you think all new, all different Marvel. You think how that didn't sell that well. You think Feige's attempt at it, phase 4 and 5, also didn't go that well. It's a little, but let's continue. The rumor mill for Spider-Man Brand New Day is officially moving at light speed, and at the center of the storm is Sadie Sink. While mounting evidence suggests that she's playing the MCU's definitive Jean Grey, a new tidbit from the reliable scooper Cryptic 4K Quality, who's the one that mentioned about the powers that we talked about, and we've talked about, just added a massive reality-bending layer to her debut. See, now, I should have gone back and found this tweet, but Charles is not going to misquote him, so I'm just going to read it from here. According to Cryptic, Sink's Jean isn't just a local mutant from Westchester. She was described to him as being time-displaced. If that phrase sounds familiar, it's because it was the literal backbone of one of the most polarizing and fascinating eras in modern X-Men history. Oh, here we go. Time-displaced, eh? It goes with time, chat. Space. They're intertwined. They're linked. They're the same, according to physics. So she's time displaced. She's also space displaced. And if you're space displaced, you're probably in a different universe, or you could be. That's an option. Displaced in space and time doesn't necessarily have to be in your own universe. It could be in another universe. And we are at the end of the multiverse saga. And yes, this movie is going to be a vast majority street level, but the rumors have always persisted that there's going to be at least a tinge of the multiversal about it. So if she's time displaced, that means she's also space displaced. Which means she could be Not necessarily it will be, but if you're displaced in space and time, you could be displaced into an entirely different timeline or universe. Just saying. Moving on. What run is he talking about? Oh, here we go. An image from All New X-Men. In 2012, writer Brian Michael Bendis launched All New X-Men, a series that saw the original 5 teenage X-Men, Cyclops, Jean, Beast, Iceman, and Angel, travel from the past to the present day. Okay. This teen Jean... Well, I way overthought that shit, didn't I? This teen Jean had to grapple with a world where her older self was dead, her mentor was a failure, must be talking about Charles, and her future was a tragedy. By using the time-displaced description, Marvel Studios might be signaling a move away from the traditional born in the 616 origin. Instead of explaining where mutants have been for 20 years, Marvel could simply pluck them from the past, or another timeline, there it is, and drop them into the modern MCU. I didn't overthink it. Even if it's controversial, it's potentially brilliant. Given the knowledge that Brand New Day deals, at least in part, with the fallout of Peter's memory wipe, if Jean arrives as a stranger in a strange land, she and Peter, the ultimate lonely hero, share a thematic link that makes their rumored partnership much more poignant. Additionally, a time-displaced Jean allows Marvel to explore the character's raw, untapped power and her psionic form, which Cryptic notes will look like X-Men 97 without immediately jumping to the cosmic Firebird. Thank God. Can Grey cross universes? On her own, probably not, but, you know. Hashtag movie magic. Or as Ryan George would say, they'll do it that way. They'll have it that way so the movie can happen. Here we go. Okay, without immediately jumping to the cosmic Firebird. Good. They need to stay far away from Phoenix for quite some time, in my opinion. Regular or dark. The time-displaced angle, especially in one of the final films in the multiverse saga, helps avoid forcing Marvel to address why the X-Men haven't intervened on Earth 616 before. It also opens the door to the other members of the original 5 X-Men appearing in either a post-credit scene to Brand New Day or in Avengers Secret Wars. Oh, that's an abrupt end. I thought there was more. That was a really abrupt end. Did that sound like a conclusion to an article to you, chat? Is it just me? That didn't sound very much like a conclusion to an article. At least not a well-written one. So that's interesting. And what he came up here, what he came up with here, chat, makes a lot of sense. It is a good way to explain where the fuck they've been. He Who Remains took them out, and then they got popped up from, I guess how Josh would describe it, the Prime Universe, so they'd be displaced. They'd be from a different universe without being from a different universe, because the 616 is sort of the Prime Universe, but curated by He Who Remains. So, I kind of like it. Isn't that a little basically water is wet? A little bit, yeah. Isn't that title basically water is wet? I mean, kind of. But, yeah. Using time displacement as a vehicle for bringing them into the MCU, I'm fine with it. I actually like it better than they just happen to be born at the right time for, like, shit to start going wrong with He Who Remains' plan when Sylvie killed him. And then, you know, couple other things that happened as a result of, or happened during the MCU, activated the X gene, yada, yada, yada. Fuck going through all that. They got yanked from somewhere else. That's why they weren't here. He Who Remains made them not here. Now they're here because they were yanked from somewhere else. And or someone else. When, not one, when. Some when and somewhere else, and or somewhere else they come from. That's a lot easier to do, frankly. A lot less explaining that needs to be done. A lot fewer ways to confuse the mostly ignorant ass general audience who's just there for the fun and doesn't want to be buried in a bunch of excess details. I mean, I never read the run, and I believe Charles Murphy when he said it was controversial. I have no reason to doubt that assessment. I mean, I could Google it to confirm, but I'm just going to go with him because he's proven himself to be quite trustworthy in the time I've been following him. So yeah, well, first of all, the time displacement thing just on its own, forget like when or where she came from. I just using that as to why she's all of a sudden there instead of delving into all that other bullshit is smart. Now, if that's how they're going to handle all of them and kind of sort of, because Marvel never does a 1-to-1. So even if they use that run as inspiration, it will, like most things, it will probably just be, or Marvel Studios' adaptation of that run will probably just be like an homage to it, and that's about it. You know what I mean? It will be literally just inspiration rather than technically it'll be an adaptation, but it'll probably be more of an inspiration leading to a loose adaptation. Like they'll probably just take like 2 or 3 things that they deem most important and then weave their own fucking story around it. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, that's what they've done up to this point. Yeah, I like it. What up, Griff? I like it. I think bringing them in through some sort of time/space displacement, much more succinct way of doing it. Was time displacement going to be the new multiverse? Well, technically, time displacement can cause branches and create a larger multiverse. That's the fun part. But yeah, kind of, sort of. We'll probably have both. We'll probably have more time travel. The X-Men are notorious for time travel. And they've gotten in trouble for it quite often. Like, they do a lot of time traveling. So, bringing them in via time travel of some kind makes a lot of sense, comic book wise. Sorry, forgot where I put something and then finally found it. I thought it was over there and then it wasn't. And then I'm like, where the fuck did I? Oh, there it is. That's what that was. You know what, chat? I am down for what Mr. Murphy is proposing. I am down for it. What do you guys think? How would you feel if the MCU introduced the X-Men as a young, very young X-Men team that was time and or space displaced as the reason why we haven't seen them before? Instead of all that excessive ripped out of the Prime universe and her X gene got activated by like He Who Remains dying and gamma radiation and fallout from Avengers adjacent shit or whatever. Instead of going through all that bullshit, oh hey look, they came from this place / time and now they're here. Ta-da! Keep it simple, stupid. I mean, if you don't get me wrong, I am well aware that if you really start delving into like time travel and how it works and all the paradoxes that it creates just in your mind, and it makes you want to like tear your eyeballs out and jam things through your ears into your brain and just fucking gives you a headache when you really start thinking about time travel. Yeah, it can get that bad. But if you can force yourself to keep it surface, okay, they were at this place in this point in time and now they're here with just good enough of an explanation, the general audience will buy it and they'll show up and they'll spend their money, and that's what Marvel wants. And frankly, I could use with, Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to be already really, really involved with, explaining all kinds of time and space shit. If they can keep this little bit simple, I'm down for that. I am very much down for them keeping it simple, stupid. when it comes to where the X-Men have been this whole fucking time. Now, again, that's just him speculating. That's what that is. That was a speculative article. That's not even a rumor. Let me make that very, very clear. That's not even a rumor. That is speculation from a guy who knows comics, who knows scooping, and the industry. And is therefore in a position to make really, really, really fucking good educated guesses. Fuck you, Streamlabs. And what he came up with there, I'm a fan of. Bring it on. Bring on time displaced young X-Men. I'm fine with that. What do you guys think? Would you be cool with that if that's how they handle bringing the X-Men into the MCU? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Or are you just like, as long as it works good enough? Like, where you at with that, chat? How would you feel if that's how they do it? I'm down. As long as they don't do it stupidly, I'm down. And there are plenty of ways it could go wrong. Let's be real. Let's be real. There are plenty of ways it could go wrong, but I still think it's the simpler, better option. This is a good vape. It does the trick, but it's so harsh on my throat. Make me want to sound like that. All right, chat. Well, that's all I got for tonight. So, you got final thoughts on that? You got thoughts on anything else? Questions? Anything else nerdy? Something you want to go back to? Something we didn't even talk about? It's your time now, chat. And while we're on your time, take the time to hit all the buttons that apply to you. The like applies to everybody. But if you're new, first of all, thank you for clicking on this here video. Whether it's the live version or the replay, thank you very much. And thank you for sticking with it this long. And if you stuck with it this long, you must be enjoying yourself. And if you're enjoying yourself, you may as well hit the subscribe and the bell. Yeah. So hit all the buttons that apply to you. Pretty please and thank you. Also, if you're on the replay, comments. Tell me what you think about the stuff that we talked about tonight. Excuse me. But that's all I got, chat. What do you have? I'm interested in what's on your brains. Chillin' wants to know. You've only liked the original films and the cartoons. Yeah, that's fair. You didn't like the First Class era from Fox? Just the Hugh well, I say just the Hugh Jackman era, but it's all been his era. I mean, yeah, Stewart and McKellen were in Days of Future Past, but yeah. You basically prefer the Stewart era to the McAvoy era, as it were. And I'm a big fan of all three of the originals. I mean, did they do Phoenix? Dark Phoenix weird? Yes. Was The Last Stand not that good of a movie? Yes, but I still really like it because I'm me. Um, I like First Class and Days of Future Past. Armageddon and Dark Phoenix are just there. There they are. They're movies. I don't hate them the way a lot of people hate them. I don't hate Last Stand the way a lot of people hate Last Stand. I do recognize I do recognize those are the weakest offers out of the whole bunch. That's for damn sure. Have a safe trip, brother. Enjoy New York. Not as much fun. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not gonna argue with that one. All right, chat. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you very, very much for hanging. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, whether you were live or replay. Thanks for hitting the buttons. Thanks for choosing to spend even a however large a part you chose to spend here on a Saturday. So many other things you could be doing on a Saturday, but you're here, and that's awesome and amazing. And I thank you very, very much. Have a good rest of your weekend. Have a good beginning to your week. It's Daredevil Tuesday night, Daredevil Watch Party, episodes 2 and 3, 9 p.m. And then 9 p.m. on Wednesday for Invincible. And then back here Saturday at 10. That's how we're rolling for a while, guys. 2 watch parties and a new show a week, basically. That's where we're at. So, come on back Tuesday at 9. Hope things go well between now and then. Thanks for being here. Much love. Bye. Chat. Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that a lot, bro. Thank you. Did you have a good time, chat? Did you enjoy the conversation? I had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yet another dive into our nerdy natures. And I'm very grateful that you chose to do that here when you could have been so many other places. It's amazing that you consistently choose being here, and I appreciate it greatly. Daredevil chat. Daredevil on Tuesday. Invincible on Wednesday. 9 p.m. start times for both. And next Saturday at 10, where we'll talk about all the news from from next week. Until Tuesday, I hope you have a good time. I hope life treats you well. Be careful. Be safe out there. And also, remember, wherever you're at and whoever you're with, always keep it nerdy. Much love, y'all. Peace.